Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of the Monsters Den. In the co-captain's chair, Mr. Rich Catino. Rich, what's happening, my friend?
All right, how's it going?
It's going. It's if you're a giant monster fan, it's going pretty well, right?
Yeah. I mean, number one trending trailer, right?
Yes, yes. So we're here today to talk about the new trailer for Godzilla versus Kong. Notice no King Kong, it's just Godzilla versus Kong.
Right.
And, you know, when we look back all those years ago when Toho released King Kong versus Godzilla, so now they've kind of changed it around. They twisted the kind of the billing, I guess you could say. I don't know, right? And we got, what, about a 2-minute, 25-second trailer, something like that, which dropped yesterday at noon. So everybody's talking about it. Everybody's watched it. I probably watched it 10 times already. And Rich and I figured we'd kind of talk a little bit about what we saw, how we're interpreting it, and what our predictions are based on what we saw. So I'll let you start off and kind of get us started here.
All right. Well, you saw something that I didn't. That was Mechagodzilla in like the first couple seconds.
Yeah.
Who's destroying the buildings.
Yeah. Now when you rewatch it, did you see it? Yeah,
you can see him. You can see the outline of his head and the eyes a little bit.
Yeah. So that's for everybody watching, that's at like the 3-second mark. So it's it's that scene where you have all the people on the staircase going down into the subway, and there's all this destruction at street level, and you see the red eyes and clearly a robotic head. However, in watching it a couple more times, it could be Mechagodzilla. It also could be Mecha King Ghidorah, one of the heads, right? Who knows? It's hard to say.
I didn't think of that.
I don't know. It's got to be one or the other. My gut tells me it's Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
But the only reason I bring Mecha Ghidorah back into play here is because at the end of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the Alan Jonah character goes and purchases one of the Ghidorah heads, right?
Right.
And you know he's going to do something with that.
Right.
So now whether that comes to play in this film or not, I don't know. But why would they throw that in there if that wasn't foreshadowing something?
Right. Like, did they use its brain to put in Mechagodzilla or something?
Which I don't know. Right. Which very well could be. Yeah.
Right. But
you know what it is? It's hard when you've been a fan of these films for so long, and you go back to, either the original films or the second wave of films where they did so many different things with mecha this and mecha that, right? So it's like, so part of me says that they're not going to want to necessarily go back to the same well again.
I hope not.
Right. But
like, I do not want to see a person in there controlling Mechagodzilla, because then it's going to be like Power Rangers.
Right.
Or a Pacific Rim, which I call Corny Rim. I hate it. So I don't want to see that. If they do that, I'm probably going to leave the theater.
I don't think they're going to, though. But I don't know. So, all right. So
it starts off with that.
Yep.
Right. And then you see clips, and they give you a little bit of backstory of what Kong's up to, and you see him on the battleship. I don't know what it is. Probably a battleship or something. And then you see the little girl that's holding up a little doll of him, like he's communicating with her.
Right.
And then you see Godzilla come out of the water, and he's attacking Kong on the ship. And Kong literally is kicking his ass in the trailer. So I don't know if that's because he doesn't know who Godzilla is, or he thinks Godzilla's the robot underneath the skin, like they did in the 74 movie. I don't know. There's a couple of theories that it could possibly be what's going on with this plot.
Yeah, I don't know.
But him kicking Godzilla's ass throughout the whole trailer worries me a little bit.
Yes, and here's another thing that kind of worries me a little bit too. In the previous two Godzilla films, he's gigantic.
Yeah,
is it me, or does Godzilla not look that big in this film?
He looks as big as Kong now, so they've both got to be about 300 feet tall.
Yeah, but I seem to recall like Godzilla like towering over all the buildings in the last couple films, and now they're both like at building height. And Kong was not this big in Skull Island. And I know a lot of people say, well, he was younger, he's grown up now. But I mean, the scene where Kong jumps up and punches Godzilla, he almost looks taller than him. And I'm like, this doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, the perspective is a little confusing.
Yeah. And
So otherwise, yeah, like when they show the scene in the city with all the neon lights that are on the buildings, you
yeah,
could really see how big the buildings are compared to Godzilla. Which I like it. I like that the monsters are not too big. I don't want them to be too big. Then it gets ridiculous.
yeah,
So
yeah.
proportionally, the size is okay with me. I think as long as they don't get too tall. Like what was that anime movie? Godzilla. It was called Godzilla Earth. There was three of them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was terrible, and Godzilla barely was in the movie a couple minutes, but he was huge. He was like as big as a mountain or something. It was absurd. So you got to kind of proportionally keep them, big but not too big where it's a joke.
Yeah, true. No, I agree with you. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to, so, and there's the one scene where Kong is battling these flying kind of prehistoric
Yeah.
looking creatures. So I'm wondering, could that be on Skull Island?
I think that's on Skull Island. I've seen a couple people say that's maybe the Hollow Earth thing. That theory that they did in Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
So that could be that. But if they're doing something like that, I really hope that you see some other creatures under there other than those skull crawlers.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a fan, I would love to see Baragon down there digging, like that would be really cool. You pull an Easter egg like that, and you see Baragon down there because he was the digger. He was subterranean.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're gonna get a nice Easter egg like that.
I don't know. We'll see. Here's another thing. So speaking of flying stuff, so at the 2-minute mark in the trailer,
right,
there is this giant thing that flies over Godzilla, and you see like this really thick tail, and that's really about all you see.
I've seen that picture of that creature. I think that's the bat creature. I forgot what the thing's name was, but that's in the movie too. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So it's like it's almost like a giant vampire bat looking thing.
Okay. Could be.
With these hideous, like these really wicked wings with all the skin's kind of shredded inside the wings. It's like torn and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the creatures. And then the other one that Kong is fighting is the serpent looking thing with wings as well. I don't know what is with wings with the Monsterverse. You got 2 of those in that movie, and then 3 in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Right.
Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan flew.
Rodan. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And you have to wonder if any of them are going to, like, if Mothra's going to play into this at all.
Right. I mean, it'd be nice to see him or Mothra show up again.
Yeah.
Maybe for a little backup or something, because I think Kong and Godzilla are probably going to team up against, I don't know if it's going to be Mechagodzilla or some other bigger threat that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
I think it's one or the other.
Yeah. And then there's a line that someone says in the film that says there's something provoking them that we just aren't seeing.
Right.
So I'm thinking, remember in the old films, you had those aliens?
Right. Well, did you see there is a couple shots fans have been really picking up on little things. There's a shot where it looks like a ship is in the background and it's got like blue light coming out of the back of it. That could be a ship, like an alien ship. A few people thought it was Gamera. I was like, now that would be cool.
I would be totally surprised. Yeah.
Because it looks like a shell shape and it could be Gamera flying in. I'd be like, that'd be the best. But yeah. I think it's a bit of a stretch. But then again, who would have thought Luke showed up at the end of The Mandalorian?
Right, exactly.
Right? That blew my mind. So maybe I'll get a nice surprise and it'll be Gamera or somebody.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. I would love to see it. Here's another one I picked up on. It's at 1:42. Yeah. What are those schematics on the computer screen behind that young guy who's talking? It looks robotic. It looks really big. It's got like feet, but you really can't read all the words, right? And I'm like, what is that?
I think that's Mechagodzilla, because when I looked up the design, there's a couple designs for the legendary type of version for the Monsterverse, and it's very much like the design that was in that movie Ready Player One.
Okay.
I didn't see it, but there was Mechagodzilla in that game.
Oh, really? Okay.
He shows up, and I think it's going to be very similar to the design that we see in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay.
Because they can't rip off the Toho design. They got to do something original.
Yeah, they do have to do something a little bit different. Yeah.
So I think maybe they took that design and tweaked it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So, because I
what
saw
I'm guessing.
the feet were pretty big, and I could see the design of the feet. It looked very similar to the concepts I saw for the legendary one.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking it is. My guess, and this is what a lot of people are kind of going with right now, is that um, Jonah and his cronies somehow create, either whether using the Ghidorah head somehow or whatnot, they've
Right.
created this giant mecha Godzilla. And kind of like what they did in previous Godzilla films, they put like a skin on him, okay,
Yeah.
which allows them to mimic what Godzilla looks like, and they
Right.
have it do their bidding, right? And
Right.
everybody thinks that why is Godzilla turning on us after all the events that happened in the previous movie? Who can save
Right.
us? We got to bring Kong from Skull Island.
Right.
So then there's the big battle, but in a sense, he's just battling Mecha Godzilla.
Robot.
And then
Yeah.
somehow Godzilla gets thrown into the mix, because
Yeah.
that the two are going to have to fight each other at some point.
Yeah.
Because I think
Yeah,
if,
but
if
I
it's
think
only Kong fighting Mega Godzilla and Kong and regular Godzilla never fight, that's kind of lame.
But I think if it's Kong and Godzilla versus a Mecha Godzilla, they're gonna tear a robot apart.
You would think.
I don't see how a robot's gonna beat, two thinking creatures like that.
Yeah. That's why I think
No.
there's got to be something else.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because we haven't
That
seen
whole
any.
scene with Kong with the hammer.
Yeah, I was gonna say the hammer too. The shape out that's at the end of the axe is Godzilla's one of his spines, the spikes on its back.
Gotcha.
So now we don't know if that was given to Kong by the people, made by the people, or Kong fashioned that himself.
Yeah.
To fight Godzilla.
Yeah.
Another interesting, thing that could happen.
So we'll see. But based on all the action in the trailer, I mean, Kong gets the better of Godzilla in almost every little scene they show. And that can't be the case, right? Throughout the whole film, right?
Right.
So
and I hope they're not showing the best scenes, because I was looking up the screen time for the monsters in King of the Monsters. And actually I'm looking at it now. It's a total of 22 minutes when you add it up. And Godzilla's only on for 9 minutes when you add it all up. So
wow.
Those scenes, if you watch the movie, the scenes in the movie are seconds, maybe a couple minutes long each, maybe. There's a lot of quick cutaways to other scenes. They chop it up. I don't like when they do that. Keep the camera on the shot, keep it on the fight. Let's see it for a few minutes, Don't keep going to everybody else. I want to see the fight. It's like watching a boxing match, That's
so it's funny. So if there was 22 minutes in King of the Monsters, and so many critics complained that there was too much monster action, what was there? 5 minutes in the first film?
16 actually.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and again, it's only 9 for Godzilla, 6 and 7 for the Mutos, and total is 16 minutes. So that's not much either.
No, not
for a 2 hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. There should be at least 30 plus minutes of monster screen time. If you're doing 2 hours, definitely, or even an hour and a half.
Yeah.
How much story can we possibly get?
And nobody wants all that story anyway, right?
No, the story just drives the action for the monsters. Really, it gives you your storyline. That's fine. I don't care about everything else. Give us the monsters. Let us see them fight. And then the storyline can be good. That's fine. It has to be a solid story. I thought Skull Island was good.
I like Skull Island quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a good story. It's solid, but give us the monsters and the creatures on screen. Let's see the action. Let's see the fight.
Yeah, we don't want to wait an hour and 15 minutes into the movie for you to give us something. That's ridiculous.
Right. Give us what we came here for.
Yeah. Well, I would assume in this film they're going to have to give us a good amount, because they've already introduced both of these characters, and we already know they're going to grab one of them to bring them back here, and there's something going on with the other one. So I would assume from the get-go there's going to be shit happening in this film. You have to think.
And after saying that there's 17 of them, I think they said, in King of the Monsters. So we got to see some stuff on Skull Island too. We got to see more of what these other monsters are.
Yeah.
There should be, a boatload of them, at least half of 17, I would say, right?
You would think.
Let's see some more. Let's see them fighting on the island, see what they're doing.
Yep. So we'll see. I guess we'll see if they're going to release another trailer. I kind of hope they don't. I don't want to see too much yet,
Right. Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
got what do we got? 2 months? 2 months from
2 months.
today or tomorrow? Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yep. About 2 months. Exactly.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm ready now, but hey, I can wait.
I want to see it in the theater though. I hope
I
it
would
goes to
love to.
theaters.
Yeah. Well, we'll
Yeah.
see what it's like 2 months from now. So
Yeah.
I'll either
Right.
watch it in the theater or I'll be watching it out in my living room. So one or the other.
Exactly.
One or the other. So there you have it, everybody. A little bit of kind of discussion on what we saw on this trailer and what we're kind of predicting will happen. So let's hear from you, the viewers, on what you thought that whole trailer was about, what you're predicting is going to happen in this movie. What did you see? What didn't you see? Maybe there's some stuff that you guys picked up on that Rich and I didn't, but that's the great thing about trailers like this. Everybody's like, I'm stopping and going, pausing and playing. I must have rewind and played, pause so many times. It's crazy, but it's amazing what you don't catch.
Yeah, I'm curious if anybody thinks that they know or think that there's going to be another Toho monster cameo. I'm very curious about that. It's possible. You never know.
Be possible. Gigan would be kind of cool.
Just came out. If he just came out of nowhere, that's what I'm kind of looking for. Just like, where the hell did that monster come from? You know, just a nice surprise, and maybe just give somebody a sneak attack or something out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that would be exciting.
That would be. So we'll see. We'll see. Well, hopefully, the Pacific Rim robots don't show up in this.
I don't want any of that.
I mean, I don't mind Pacific Rim, but I don't need them in this film. So
yeah, agreed.
All right, so everybody tune in or go to see Godzilla vs. Kong, March 26th in theaters on HBO Max. I'm sure we'll be talking about this quite a bit over the next 2 months, and we'll see what happens. We're all eagerly awaiting it. So
absolutely.
For Rich Catino, I am Pete Pardo here at the Monsters Den on Sea of Tranquility. We'll see you guys later on this week when Chris Allo will be joining us once again. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite holiday horror films. So that's coming Thursday evening, so stay tuned for that. We'll see you all then. Take care, everybody.